So we Cupid here. And Arbalist you. See, that was the issue, though, is if I'd been able to kill this guy, Laertes wouldn't have died. Because now we've got you here on Silver Axe. And then we do Luna here. Jason killed Laertes, shake my head. Honestly, it was Barlow, because Barlow didn't rally, which is why Jason didn't double. So if you want to blame anyone, blame Barlow. We barrier you. And then Sagel to get the kill. I can't believe Barlow hates old men. Jason is just jealous Laertes got more money than him. That's a good headcanon. I do like that. Silver Sword you. Jason only wanted grave robbing Laertes' corpse. Barlow Yo, traitor confirmed! The thumbnail never lied. So, recruiting Lorenzo is gonna be a little bit annoying. We gotta talk to him 3 times. But thankfully, he has, like, the fake Brave Lance. Like, this is what Fructuoso was made for. This run definitely increased my appreciation for Ziying. Yeah, I mean, obviously Ziying is, like, worse than Lopez. Even if you ignore coin, right? Like, Lopez just has better. Stats. If you train him. But, like, he's still an assassin, right? Like, glass cannon assassin. It turns out one-rounding stuff without counter is good in the game where your healing is limited. Girly Pop, don't you have a sword? Like, do you not know the weapon triangle? I thought she had a blade. Like an iron blade or some shit. Lorenzo is coded to only attack Kyra. Oh, wait, really? If so, that's a problem. Because he definitely fucking kills her. $10 physical attack. Right, I forgot. 10 physical attack. Never mind. It's probably fine. Kyra takes like 2 damage. 2 damage twice because of the Brave Lance. That Hoplite thinks she's too good for the weapon triangle. Lorenzo is stronger than Provoke. You only use the Lance Might for attack. Yeah, it's like a special Brave Lance that doesn't use strength. I don't think his Brave Lance is even brave. Oh, is it not brave? Where is he? Can strike consecutively, question mark. Yeah, you right, chat, you right. That weapon has 0 sauce. Well, no, it's that he's like demotivated. It's that he's like his heart's not in it. He wants to die. He's doing suicide by cop. I'm not blind to Rubino's effect, I'm just joking. Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm happy to know in the minorest way I contributed to Hag by coming up with the Orla-child interaction. That's awesome! Good for you! That's awesome. Like, genuinely, that's awesome. Lorenzo's a character I don't think anyone expected to be as important as he was. He's great, though. Like, his arc is just, it's quintessential Hag. I like that Thyone has the female Lyon as well. As her animations. Gotta save Cupid durability. We'll need it for the post-game, smiley face. Thank God he's a Lawrence and not a Camus. Fire Emblem fans when there's the option to communicate. Nah, we'll just use weird jargon and fake archetypes. Like, I don't even know what that means. I'm assuming what you're trying to say is, you know, thank God he's recruitable. Which, I don't know, I would say just say that then, instead of, Is there even footage of the post-game on YouTube? I think Zappy has some. I might be wrong, though. We speak in Arcanea character names around here. We shouldn't. We shouldn't. Hot take, but needlessly obscuring what you're talking about is not actually good communication. I gotta prove I played Arcanea or else I'm a normie. The fastest way to make me think you have not actually played Arcanea is to refer to units in other games by Arcanea units, because it has nothing, it's like, it almost never has anything fucking to do with it. The board and cord, you know, I've gone on the board and cord rant multiple times about how anyone who thinks board and cord are a duo, I'm sorry, you haven't played FE11, you haven't played FE1, you haven't played FE12, you haven't played FE3. Like, board and cord are part of a trio of axe fighters, each of whom works for Ogma. But they have rhyming names, so people just assume they must be something on their own together, but they aren't, actually. Or Bars. You also haven't... Yeah, Smash! Even Smash Bros knows it's a fake archetype! Are they a sticker in Ultimate? I think they're a sticker in Smash. Sakurai is a real one. He can sense the fake archetypes. You know, obviously, most Arcanea jargon is fake archetypes. Like, what the fuck is a Merrick? What the fuck is a Linde? But board and cord are faker than most, because not only are they, like, you know, just use a fucking class name, but they're not even... Their description, the archetype description, is not even accurate, right? The whole trio's there as a single unit. My favorite fake archetype is the Marth archetype. Ogma is an archetype as well. High-level, unpromoted unit that is linked to being a mercenary. What? I can't get you over there, can I? 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 2 repositions, which I think we can probably afford, actually. We have both generals repo you. We can. Rally. Then now you can double this guy with Fenrir. Jagan exists, even if we could simply say early game crutch character. Jagan is less syllables than early game crutch character, though. And it, you know, it communicates an idea faster. In the same way that, you know, the conclusion I had in the Goto video was, it's still a useful term. Because, like, the point is to make the communication easier, right? And I think in that regard it succeeds. Even if, I would argue that it is not the omnipresent force people seem to believe it is. I am actually curious about something, though. I need to check at FE1 Ogma. So the chatter who said Ogma is a very high-level, unpromoted unit, that's what the archetype is? Chat, would you like to take a guess at what level Ogma is at base? Five, 4. Y'all are guessing too high. Level 3. You're still too high, Vivid Mercury. You're still too high. Ogma joins at level 2. Fake Arcanea fans spotted. Is Barst 3? I think Barst is a higher level than Ogma. At FE1 Barst. Barst is level 5. So 28 is 13 is 15, 14 times 2. Yeah, okay, we're good. Am I stupid? Why didn't I Canto Place on Ophelia activate? It's a class skill, right? It's a class skill, but Ophelia's mimicry is inaccurate, so she can only ever get one class skill. And she ended up with Reposition, which I think is more useful than Canto Plus. It's unfortunate, though. You haven't disproven the Ogma archetype, you just added Barst to it. The Ogma archetype is an archetype because it's an archetype that is named after a unit that does not fit into it, just like every fucking archetype is. Hours-long Ogma video. Nah, Ogma doesn't get a fucking video. Certain archetypes are fake enough that they're not even worth acknowledging, right? Like, who the fuck believes in a Lawrence? I say knowing full well that now the VOD will have 17 comments at least half of which are genuine, from people talking about how I'm a fucking arsler for not believing in the Ogma archetype. One shot, by the way! This is what a 51 might weapon does. I was trying to joke. I figured you were joking. It's, So I am at the end of the archetype series. I'm planning on making a video, a sort of silly video that's like a tier list of the archetypes, in like real versus fakeness, because I do think, much like with the Gotometer, right, how that's sort of a sliding scale, I think that it's slightly more complicated than just like real versus fake. I think the use of character names for archetypes led to people lumping together otherwise unrelated traits or seeking patterns beyond usefulness. Exactly. I think the recognition that archetypes exist, right? Because they do. There are some. And not just Fire Emblem, like every game series has some amount. Has led to people looking for them where they don't necessarily exist. Is Christmas Cavalier the most real? I mean, Christmas Cavalier, Jagan, obviously, is, like, the big one. Camus, I think, is a real archetype. Like, there's a decent number. There's a decent number. Camus could make an interesting video. It was on my poll for my patrons. Shoutouts to patreon.com/DannyDoyle. But they voted for, unless things have changed, you know, at the moment it looks like the next archetype video is going to be triangle attacks / white wings. I think those can be lumped together because they're so often related, right? I don't think you would call Oscar, Boyd, and Rolf White Wings, right? But I think doing a separate video on the triangle attack versus the White Wings, I don't think would be productive, I guess would be the word. I think it would just feel redundant. Here's the thing they did, the other thing they did earlier. I think at most, kind of a side tangent about White Wing / triangle attack. Yeah, I think the focus of the video is going to be on the triangle attack since it happens more, but I think, like, White Wings, whether or not it's an archetype is debatable, but it is, at the very least, it's undeniably a thing. Yeah, it's probably a dead archetype, right? In the way that Aaron versus Samson is just a thing they don't do anymore. They're White Wings in like a third of the franchise. I mean, the literal White Wings are in like a third of the franchise. But then I would also argue that, like, you know, even the games that don't have, like, literally Palacatria and Est, you've got 3 Pegasuses who are, like, linked in some way, shape, or form. Awakening killed the White Wings. I disagree. I think Awakening, like, genuinely references White Wings in a cool and subversive way. Because that girl whose name I don't remember, the NPC, like, for all intents and purposes, she looks like she's going to be the Juno of the group, right? Of just like, okay, you showed up and you're kind of shit. But, like, you do exist. And then we'll all get fucked. They killed her, therefore they killed the White Wings. Fila, yeah, Fila. Fila didn't even get the, Awakening special of, we're sorry, but plot payoff isn't important. You get to play with your special little doll, paralogue moment. God, Fruitosa is so fucking good! I'm genuinely surprised at how well he's been holding up. Like, this is just his late recruit stats. We gave him, we gave him 1 angel robe for this map. Turns out he's just goated. Fates and Engage only have 1 Pegasus. So Tsubaki and Hinoka both start out as unpromoted pegs. And then, what's his name? So Kaldori and Azura's son, whose name I can't remember, also start out as Sky Knights. So Fates has 4. Shigure, right? Shigure, yeah, okay. What? Chad, I thought you said Lorenzo didn't attack. He just fucking hates Jason. I forgot about Hanoka. She was in the marketing. Hanoka's the most forgettable royal, right? Like, chat, do we agree? Hanoka's the most forgettable of the royals? He isn't supposed to. Oh, San Rubino's here. Did he rescue Kyra? No, Kyra's still on the battlefield because Cupid, like, she's one-shotting flyers. He just really hates Jason. He saw the tier list and he knows Jason's not worth the money. So he hates Jason. And his stupid golden armor. Yeah, Kyra's down here, right? Do you think White Pool might be interfering in some way? Jason is Kyra confirmed. Out of my way, goes to fucking attack. Jason and Elias both have blue hair. Sorry, that's just, it's too funny, the Jason hatred. It's canonical now. Are Elias and Jason ever both on screen at the same time? Holy shit. Chat, we've uncovered it. Also, Pericles! What the fuck? Who's Elias? Elias is Kyra's brother. We need more Pericles hatred. The universe heard me say, I was like, oh, I'm kind of pleased with Pericles' performance. And they're like, not for long, sucker. The double miss of an 81. Universe works in mysterious ways. That's the name of the chapter! Look, it is brave! Ignore the fact that I weighed her down with Maelstrom on purpose for this. You know, it's a bit odd that you never get a pre-promoted Black Dragoon. You also never get a pre-promoted Hoplite, for what it's worth. And you never get a pre-promoted... I guess you do get a Great Knight in Lorenzo, the very, very end of the game. There's just a few classes that you don't get the pre-promotes of, and that's, like, fine. You're never in Glamorgan to get a Black Dragoon or Dark Great Knight for the late game. Yeah, I guess the only possible thing would be if someone accompanied Barlow, right? Like, and joined in that group, but you already get Barlow and Beatrix and Telemus in that chapter, so I feel like that would probably be a bit too much. Black Dragoon if late Orla was a thing. Late Orla as a Dragoon would be funny. Although, she would probably change into something else, right? Like late Orla Halberdier or something. Like how Euphroxy becomes a general. Berserker pre-promote. Are you forgetting about Conan? No Berserker pre-promote, that's Conan Erasure. You also get Tiresias then. True, I forgot. Late Orla Bishop. Forgot about these Falcos. Wait, this might be a problem. You think I'll show you mercy if you do the same? Fight me, alright? The helmet comes off! More old man gaming. This fucking game is so good. Sorry, I'm crying again. Resolve gaming! Also, he can't use pride, lol. I forgot he couldn't use pride. I do like that, though. He can't use pride because, you know, it's fitting. How do we handle this side of things? Okay, we Arbalest the Rune Sword. You go here. Here. You go up here, okay. And now... So that's 8. Yeah, they've got enough. They're fine. Okay, so we go here. We go back. Physic. It would be funny if Jason had missed that. Renning archetype. Enemy with a helmet. Ally without one. So real and good. Okay. Never trust a man who wears a helmet all the time. Yo! The Ophelia crit. People who wear helmets all the time want to protect their head. Why do they have so many enemies that they need head protection? Fructuous goat. Did Danny skip the unit review? I just wanted to, like, get through that pretty sketch enemy phase. Because we're at a save state turn now. But yeah, now that we are in more safety, Lorenzo unit review. So Lorenzo is the other Goto, and he's a great knight. He's definitely less impressive. His skill is resolve, right, instead of red type. So when he's below 50% HP, strength, skill, and speed get multiplied by 1.5, which is good. It actually, like, it lets him hit doubling thresholds he wouldn't otherwise. He's also, like, he's weird in that he's the high defense growth guy. He's got 70% defense growth, which is funny. His other growths are also pretty good. 80% HP, 60% strength, 25 magic, doesn't matter, 45 skill, 35 speed is the bad one, but resolve kind of solves that. It solves it in quotation marks. 25 luck, 70 defense, 30 res. And he's got full triangle access. He's that kind of great knight. Holy great knight, which is cool. Ultimately, I think the biggest thing that holds Lorenzo back from, like, being on the same level as Thyone is they're fighting over the same deployment slot. You only get one extra deploy in endgame, not two. And while I use Lorenzo every time because he's just such a great character, he deserves to be a part of the final attack squad. I think if you're looking purely from a gameplay perspective, he is a lot worse than Thyone, and he's probably worse than most of the other units you have. The Lorenzo problem is finding someone he can double with half health that both matters and won't kill him. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is 21 base defense, 50 HP is bulky, but not super bulky. I just undeployed a flyer, flying utility in the last two. That's fair. Like, there are 2 indoor maps coming up. There's a lot of columns in Endgame 2, though. So, like, it's not like flying utility is completely worthless. And I think, you know, if you've trained up, especially Demeter and Teresa, I think will still have good combat. Like, good enough to justify it. And you have 2 wing shields, right? So the downside's not really a thing. You can find room for him. Like, don't get me wrong, you can find room for him. But I think more often than not, like, Thyone gives you a good argument for that 1 extra slot, and Lorenzo kind of doesn't. His stats are good enough normally that Lorenzo's probably better than one of your stinkers. It depends on the strength of your team. I don't think I've only done 2 complete playthroughs, but in both of them, I had to bench someone who I would say is better than Lorenzo. Because, you know, I like Lorenzo. But, like, Resolve is cool. I think Resolve is much more of a flavor skill than a, like, you know, actual... Obviously, it helps him combat-wise. It's weird to say about, like, the best skill in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, but it just doesn't help Lorenzo as much as you would like him to. How does he compare to Laertes? No bows, so that's, like, unfortunate, but I think he's got mostly better stats except for speed and obviously move. Yeah, he's better in everywhere but speed, skill, and move. Which I guess the skill is also... Oh, no, he's got 21 skill. It's just his skill growth is bad. Yeah, full triangle. S-rank lances, too, if you don't have an S-rank lance user, which we do not. Yeah, for a unit who shows up with only, like, 2.5 maps to go, not giving me everything I want, but, you know, still a good unit. Better combat than Thyone, but Thyone turns anyone into a monster. I don't even think he has better combat. Like, 25 magic, hitting on res is good, and 23 speed, she doubles, he doesn't. I think she's got better combat, he's got better bulk, right? We have, the S-rank lance. Lust. We can make Lorenzo horny. I guess we should also, give him some, like, other weapons. If we have a hand axe for him... Look at that! Fructuoso contributing beyond just being a provoke bot. Cupid putting in work. Everyone in chat who said, like, oh, Cupid's gonna be bad in this run, I hope you feel like silly gooses. Use the actual power of the Brave Lands. I never considered Leatrice could be a woman. Maybe I'm a bad... What? Lorenzo using lust at base is a clever reference to what I want to do to him. I love that Lorenzo has pride in his inventory but can't use it. Like, it's just such a awesome story moment. Such a cute little thing. I love this game's story. It's great. What type of weapon is Gluttony? Gluttony is a sword, I believe. It's the one that you proxy, or that Sandy drops. I got her mixed up with her daughter again. I need to stop doing that. It's basically a pros game only weapon, yeah. Although it enables the Lopez coin, like the final coin. You give it a Lopez for the final coin kill. Holy shit, is Ophelia our first unit to cap? I think she is. Oh no, Telemus capped right before her. Makes sense. They're the dynamic duo. Can you get multiple coins from Final Sandy? Oh, that's a good question. I genuinely don't know. I forgot this map had reinforcements. Okay. Then there's y'all. Yes, you can get infinite coins off of Final Sandy. Laertes heard that. Perfect for buying stat boosters in bulk in the post-game. Wait, that's the 0% strategy. That's the 0% strategy. Ignore the fact that you have to spend a ton of gold on weapons for Lopez to get the kills. It's profitable in quotation marks. It's just free real estate. Just save all 5 hammers. I thought there were only 4 hammers. Speaking of which, we still have 2 hammers. I'm planning on using them on brave weapons. I just don't know which. Zero percent strat. Kyra breaks Arena as a bow-wielding magic class, letting her use a bow against one range enemies for free wins. We gotta save Cupid durability for post-game, chat. I used a lot of them on Lust. That's because I had a cracked Teresa. Yeah, I was also running Lust Teresa. I like the consort animations. I like that it's gender bent Lyon. What is that, rule 34? Young people to help me. That's rule 34, right? Is the when we trans their gender. First Dark Rider to Black Dragoon user in history. I sent Wolfie VGC in my first playthrough and it was a mistake. Wolfric ended up like, I think he died in Endgame 2. I know Lorenzo did. It was sad. Rule 34 is porn? Well, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant by that. What's rule 35? Well, if rule 34 is porn, rule 35 must be corn, right? Everyone loves corn. You gotta get your build ready for Bolt Axe Warrior theme. Yo, no way. Let's just drain the ballista, like make it not a problem. Corn to Electric Boogaloo. Corn is actually 33. Are there, like, actually the full number of rules? Or are they just random? Like, is there rules 1 through 33? Do those actually exist? Or did people just assign, like, random numbers to them? Because I suspect there's not actually such thing as those rules. I think it's just we give funny numbers to stuff, right? How can Theme access Warrior or Bounty Hunter? By promoting to Fighter. Just like all characters, Theme has a branched promotion, and she chooses between Archer and Fighter. Industrial rule number 4080. What's Industrial Rule 4080? I'm learning things about the internet today. Forgot she had a branch promo. I didn't even consider fighter for a second. I mean, I think fighter is, you know, throwing. But it's funny throwing. No one picks fighter. I've seen someone pick fighter, but it's like you're intentionally, you know, it's like picking armor for Bread Girl in Call of the Armor. The bread tuber. You know what you're doing. Does she get her bow rank back when she promotes to warrior? I genuinely don't know. My suspicion is no. Because I don't think the Game Boy Advance keeps track of that internally. Ewan doesn't get his anima rank back when he promotes to a druid. So unless there's been like, and that feels like that'd be the weirdest thing for people to fix, right? Unless there's been some sort of technology invented in ROM hacking. My suspicion is no, she does not get bow rank back. But I can't say that definitively because I don't know. I've never done it. Nimrod first appeared in Darkstone. I wonder if there's an argument for it in that. I think I've heard of Darkstone before. What is it? It sounds familiar. Lyon is the main protag. Is it, is that, the boss Sacred Stones thing? The boss recruit Sacred Stones thing that Rubino did, or is that something else? Because I know Project Equisax is the FE6 one. And Darkstone is apparently, like, it's more than just a rebalance. It does some stuff different. It's Rubino's previous hack. He plays the Magvedlins. Okay, so it is the Rubino one. I'm thinking probably we'll do that for, like, Halloween, right? Villain hack for Halloween. Could be cool. Like, stream it for Halloween. Oh, Rubinio's here, right, I forgot. I forgot that you popped in just in time for the AI moment. Lorenzo really wanted to die. And there we go.